And I wanted to show all my comrades this to know that this is exactly what the city of Confederate. Oh, wait. They're just being rude. But when leftists want to get, when we want to gather this stuff, they come up full tactical gear. So I'm gonna be a good Samaritan and design these guys a little flyer. I figure that's appropriate. I'm gonna design them a little flyer. Keep it in the family. Keep it in the family. Bring your families, people. Because that's all this is. That racism, hatred, division. They want Trump, whatever the fuck. I haven't seen a Trump flag out there yet. I mean, this is basically the same thing. I actually wouldn't be surprised if this got taken down for hate. Because it's simple up there. And they're slowly trickling in. There's not a lot. I'm going to get there be more. It's Columbia. South Carolina.
Thank you.
Busiest crosswalk in town. You get 15 seconds. Still do not understand.
Those steps. It's a bit easy. If we walk back from here. Okay, because Tuesday I did for percussion, which is mine. I go for
We can ask them. It's a damn shame. Very good. We're gonna ask if we can walk in there. Yeah.
Yeah, do you see? Look at the fucking
Imagine bringing your kids to something like this. Teaching your kids. Lizzie, get down.
What monument is it?
This is to Benjamin Ryan Truman.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess we're walking down.
I promise to do my best to see that their further history is truly recorded and not detained. May my voice, and I repeat, may my voice be strong and true as I tell the story of the flag and its people to my children and their children, and all else who will listen. And if the time comes when the flag requires my defense, and I repeat, my defense, may I have the courage, the strength, and the honor to defend it at all costs, with all that I have and all that I am. This pledge for my sacred honor, Braxton Scott, and each one of y'all can read that pledge. You can bring it up and read it. No, I haven't memorized it yet. But I read it everywhere I go as a guest speaker, and hopefully it'll hit somebody right here where it hit me. You know, when I talk to Madeline every Sunday, every weekend for the last 10 years, I've been here for the last 10 years. And I read that pledge to people that matter. And if I'm not there on the Sunday morning, and that Sunday I have a roller pastor, turn that one too. Don't you to expect to see me to do what I've been doing. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Wayne Jones. And it's an honor to have Wayne. He's been here every 3 years. The man will take and put aside to come up here and do this, have a few words of wisdom. And it's a great honor to have you again this year. Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be with you. One thing that I learned to do many years ago is spend time to sleep. It's encouraged to get to know. If you would, I'd like you to follow with me for a moment of prayer. Our most found and gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today, thanking you for all that you have provided for us. We ask that you watch over us and protect our families and those, and those that seek for you to serve. We ask that you give us strength in this world to be a role model for all of us. Lord, we ask that you allow us to have the courage to be men and women like our brave ancestors, and that we may become strong Southern men and women, dedicated to raising our families as they do. We ask that you bless our time together today. We ask that you give us strength to speak for those brave men and women who died to make this country free. We hope that in some small way, those that don't know our voice will open their ears and hear our words. We hope that they will understand that we only wish to honor our ancestors as they would honor their own. We ask that you watch over us as we travel to our respective homes. Finally, Lord, we ask that you give us the strength to be Christians in a world created by Christianity. Now, Lord, for all these many blessings, we thank you. Amen. As Braxton said, we've been coming here for 10 years. Many years ago, when they first took this flag down, I sat with John Cannon on the table right down the road. And I said, something has to be done. And at that time, we decided to put our flags across the side. And as time went on, I had some medical issues that I had to look at what was I going to do. That's what I asked him, can you take up the flag? Can you take up the flag and continue? And he said, it was up there. This is what you see today. And the dream that we have for the 10 years. Before I begin my few comments today, I'm going to take a moment. Thank both of our veterans. How many veterans we got here today? Raise your hand. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for the service that you gave to protect our country. I also want to thank all of our law enforcement that we have here, all of our first responders, and the support that they've provided us for the past 10 years. May God bless and watch over all of us. Now today, as we begin to remember the 10th anniversary of our soldiers' flag being removed from the place of honor in the State House Green, I want to cover a few basic facts. I didn't do the research. There was a Facebook post that's been circulating by Bruce Wilhoit. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. On this day in history, he's talking July the 10th. In 2000, 25 years ago, the Confederate flag was removed from the State House dome and placed at the memorial. 10 years ago, in 2015, the flag was removed from the State House grounds. The facts behind this remain, and they're very simple. The Confederate flag was raised over the State House on April the 11th, 1961, as part of the opening celebrations of the centennial, and they called it the Civil War, but we know there was nothing civil about it. In 1962, lawmakers passed a law requiring that they continue to fly over the dome. The Confederate flag flew over the State House dome for 38 years. But then, in April of 2000, the House agreed to remove the flag from the top of the State House dome and put a similar one out at the War Memorial on the State House grounds. And the vote was 63 to 56 to do this. And it followed 2 days of debate. After the flag was lowered from the dome, reenactors raised a smaller square version, which was the infantry battle flag. And it was placed on a 30-foot pole. The compromise said the flag could be lowered only with the approval of the legislature. In November of 2015, a survey of 852 South Carolina residents by Winston University asked whether the flag should continue to fly. The results, 32.4% strongly believed it should stay put. Further, 53.3% of the whites feel strongly that it should stay. And 51.1% of the blacks feel strongly that it should be removed. In June of 2015, 10 years ago, 9 people were killed in a shooting massacre at Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston. By an individual, I'm not going to even mention his name because I don't think he's worthy. But he was a white supremacist. On June the 18th, Governor Nikki Haley ordered the state U.S. flag at National House Staff for 9 days in honor. The Confederate flag doesn't move because of the 2000 compromise, which required the legislature to approve. On June 22nd, 2015, Governor Nikki Haley reverses her position and says that the flag should be removed from the State House grounds. 150 years after the end of the war, the flag was finished. certain of our legislators, on the 23rd, they took their first steps to remove the flag. They had a debate, and it passed the House by a vote of 103 to 10. The South Carolina Senate overwhelmingly gave key approval to the bill, with only 3 of the 40 senators voting against. On the 4th, on July the 9th, at 4 o'clock, Governor Haley signed the bill requiring the flag be removed from the grounds. And within 24 hours, the ceremony was scheduled. On July 10th, 2015, an honor guard state troopers lowers the Confederate battle flag from the pole outside the State House and rolls it up so it can be displayed in a museum alongside others. Many of us know the battle that ensued and finally get that to happen. Unfortunately, the removal of Confederate symbols and monuments turned into removal of other monuments. 15th century explorers such as Christopher Columbus and even our famous County College many statues and monuments remain under attack today. But most of them were the most recent being Confederate Memorial statue of the National Cemetery, which is also known as the reconciliation. And that was removed in December 2024. That's the history. That's the background. That's part of the reason we stand here today. Because with this glorious battle flag that we've raised today, we come to honor the memory of many of our Confederate heroes in South Carolina. Today we're here to remember the time when the soldiers' flag flew proudly over the square. This flag means many things to many people. The bright green Confederate ancestors and the soldiers. This flag never grew or anything to do with government. This flag is the racial or discipline. This flag was a rallying point in battle. So when the soldiers went down or they got confused, they could always look to the battle flag being at the center of the battle line. This was a point that the soldiers always rallied to, and which we must try to do as well. But as we remember those Confederate soldiers, we know that these men were part of the greatest army in the world. And in my heart, and I'm sure in yours as well, you know that these Confederate soldiers would not have to come before you today with any apologies or any regret. The men for which I speak gave their all to preserve their homes, their land, and the country they loved. They believed that freedom and independence was the first birthright and destiny of all people. Our story of our ancestors is a story that will never be forgotten. They never lost hope. They were never broken. And they spared no sacrifice to win what they considered the second great war for independence. They cannot speak of the challenges and the sufferings that they endured. It now becomes our time, our place. We are their representatives. We must speak for those ancestors. They didn't fight together. They didn't survive the horrible war together. They didn't understand that you could address the kidnap them together. Just so we could forget them what they did. They did not, and we do that. As long as we can remember our history, we must defend the memory of those good men and build our future. But just as our adversaries and enemies of the past learned The strong people of the Southland will never forget where we came from and what we stand for. Our story will be told. The truth will eventually come out, and we see it day in and day out. And hopefully, the less educated will learn. We are challenged daily to emulate their virtues, perpetuate their principles, cherish their beliefs and ideas, and to guard and keep the values. We must fight like our ancestors fought, for family, for freedom, for our country, and most importantly, this day for our system of life. Finally, as we celebrate these Confederate soldiers and this southern symbol of liberty, the question should be uppermost in our minds. How will we, you and I, be remembered for future generations? We must fight as they have fought for duty, honor, and our Christian law. And as you fight these battles, I challenge you to let the world see the principles of liberty, the dedication of justice, the Christian character of steward, and the determination of Christ. Christ as a strong example for each of us to follow. In closing, I ask that you remember the words of Robert Louis Stevenson. Sir, you have no reason to be ashamed of your Confederate freedom. See to it, they have no reason to be ashamed of you. And may God bless each and every one of you, and may God bless all of you. The next gentleman that has been coming up to speak is Will Kennedy. David Crosses and David Lecter of the presentation of Lee Jacksonville in 2007. And inspired me in more ways than I can ever say. I went up to him a little while later and said, Gentlemen, I got a question. I love what you do. I love how you do it. Tell me what I can do to help you accomplish your goals. And of course, David, he always says, he says, we're getting uniform, come on. And that really was sad. So many years ago, I had the opportunity to work with two of the strongest men that I've ever had the opportunity to work with in the government. General Lee and General Lee. We did many miles, we did many presentations. We kept our life going. But one thing Lee and Cruz we all do, we never forgot about where we came from. We never forgot about the reason that God came. We never forgot about it. Brother, my brother, you are a man. At this time, I'd like to introduce my best brother to also General Lee. Thank you, sir. It was my religion that teaches me that I must kill and Christ prior to speaking to his people. And we are his people. He loves us, and we love him. Before I start, I'd like to take just a moment to pause and remember Kentucky. We just had a fundraiser there last weekend. You know, let's take one song for you. Governor, the Bible tells us in Proverbs 22:28, remove not the ancient landmarks which thy fathers have set. They are being removed, but it is still done. The Bible also tells us that where there is no vision, the people perish. Proverbs 29:18. You are people of vision because you love your ancestors. I love the good, the bad, and the ugly of what we did so that we can celebrate the great things. I am bound to them, who have never looked in my eyes. I am bound to them, who I have never heard their voices. I am bound to them, though I have never felt the presence of their touch. I will honor their history. I will cherish their lives. I will tell their story, and I will remember. That is my calling. Friends, what is your call? What would you give for freedom? What would you give for freedom? What would you be willing to stand and face for freedom? Are you willing to dare to face those who desecrate our homes, our families, our heritage, our history, our God? What are you willing to do? And now ask, why are you here today? The feeling that we possess within our souls cannot be described. Yet it is real as our heartbeat. It is as real as the rain upon the water. It is as real as the breath that we take. It is the calling of our ancestors that beckons us to remember. Generally, once stated, a land without memories is a people without liberty. A land without memories is a people without liberty. Neither is the cause for freedom. It is that voice that echoes under wind, pleading with us to recall and stand for what is right. It is our call. Tennessee Representative Edward Carmack once stated, the place to the south. He said in 1898, I quote, the South is a land that is unscarred. It is land that has broken the nation's trust with its tears. A land scarred and riven by the plowshare of war and billowed with the graves of her dead. But it's a land of legend. It's a land of song. It's a land of hallowed, heroic memories. To that land, every drop of my blood, every fiber of my being, every pulsation of my heart is consecrated to it. I was born of her womb. I was nurtured at her breast. And when the last hour should come, I pray, dear God, that I may be pillowed upon her bosom and rocked to sleep within her tender and encircling arms. He knew the cost of freedom. He also heard the call. There was a Native American by the name of Floyd Red Crow Western that said, he said, there is an ancient saying among Native Americans that something lives only as long as the last person who remembers it. My people have come to trust memory over history. Memory, like fire, is radiant and immutable, while history serves only those who seek to control it. Those who douse the flames of memory in order to put out the dangerous fire of truth. Beware of these men and women, for they are dangerous themselves and unwise. Their false history is written in the blood
and those who might remember, and those who seek the truth. He knew the call up for his people. May I ask you, when did you first hear the call? If I may, I would like to share something personal. But I remember the first time I heard the call. I was 8 years old. And I was living with my uncles. My Uncle Charlie was a old World War II veteran. We called him Moonshine Charlie because he made the best moonshine in town. But we sat on that old porch and he got on the steps and said, "Boy, come here." Now, I didn't know my name until I was 12 years old because my uncle just called the boy. And he said, "Come here and sit beside me." And I sat there and he said, "I want to tell you a story." And he'd been talking about a place called Gettysburg that he never heard before. And he didn't tell me about 1863, but he told me about a 50-year incident that happened in 1913. He said that they had decided to have a great delegation and have a lot of the soldiers Union and Confederate come and try to find the places of which the monuments to be placed, talk about the battles, and document everything. And during that time they were together, Uncle said that someone came up with an idea, can we recreate the biggest charge? Now you have to remember that the men of 20 are now 70, men of 30 are now 80, and the men of 40 are now 90. Well, the old warriors agreed to do it, and the boys in blue went up the hill. They went to the angle, over the trees, and they said the crowd followed the Confederate soldiers, and people talked as they went and they marched along. And they said when they got to Edgefield Road, they had to cross that old fence, and when they got into range, they said, I can remember this with the check. He said that the words were given, fire, and the Union boys went down and fired upon the former enemy. The mother said there was a great moan went across the country, but it was not the Confederate soldiers, it was not the crowd, but it was the Union soldiers recognizing the significance of the moment. They threw down their guns. They crossed that picket fence, and as fast as their 70-year-old, 80-year-old body could go, they went and threw themselves across the neck of their former enemy. And Uncle said, from ashes rose the phoenix. And that was the great reunion and the healing of the nation. And then he said, I've never been to Gettysburg, I know if I ever will, because they've been moved to New York as well. He said, but I charge you, with the task of going someday and recovering your ancestors because they are buried up there somewhere. And I've searched, but I've still not found them. So the torch will be carried up until we identify every person we can. Because the 10th Army has been on the fence for 1629. Since 1992, we have set 1,143 stones and the mission continues. That is your commission. That is your call. That is what we must do. Remember. I think of this often. Remember what your uncle said. And when I got older, I started reading, started researching, started writing. And I came upon a story that touched my heart, and I use it in the church services a lot. It's been a read, been a back, been a skirt. I'd like to share with you, but it's okay. Imagine this. The 1862. Melbourne Hill, Henrico County. The Confederate on the high ground. Was a young lieutenant going back and forth. The fire. Very brave young man going back and forth. The Irish Brigade, under Captain David Powers Cunningham, is being annihilated. Every time they try to move, that young lieutenant would fire. And fire would go down, the great fall. And Captain Cunningham, realizing the danger that was involved, he called upon Sergeant Rucker, who would happen to be Sergeant came forward and said, watch your back and forth, watch it right there. And you get this distance. This guy was standing, he had a scoop on that gun, and I imagine it was a rich one. And he looked and kind of picked out the pattern, and sure enough, that young brave man came up, then he left back. And they said, Sergeant Rucker looked at it and said, I can tell. And he was given the command to do so. And he said he watched the pattern and held the gun back and forth, waiting. And sure enough, that young man, as predicted, came right here. And started pointing. Sergeant Rucker pulled that trigger. And that young man fell on his face. And all of a sudden, the Confederate line started breaking. And Captain Cunningham, realizing opportunity, he's a gentleman. Or charge. They charged up that hill. Sergeant Driscoll was beside us, Captain. And when they reached that young boy moved before he fell on his face. And Captain Cunningham gave him the directive to seize that wind with order and continue his feet. They said that Sergeant Rucker bent down and pulled him over. That young boy reached up and said, Father! Father! And the Sergeant Rucker, he shot his only begotten son that 5 years earlier had went to the South to win. And they said they could hear his screams, the screams of the charge of the 1,000 men. And he tore off his jacket and laid it on the sun. And he ran towards the Confederate soldiers saying, send me home. I want to go with my boy. And he hit him. And hit him again. And he fell and died from home. Now we know where the grave of Sergeant Rucker is. But we do not know the name of that young lieutenant, that brave son of his. For he is buried in some unknown grave. That is our call. We'll find him. We'll bring him closure. You know, as touching as that story is, it pales in comparison to the sacrifice of our God, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Gave. And I know he could not look because there was a certain veil where he couldn't have to look away. I love you all. But I would not give my son up to you. I'll give my life for you. There's no search. But I could not give my son. I cannot fathom that kind of love. The love that is boundless. Hey friends, when you think of that, it's amazing. So there's a burning anvil within our hearts that can't be extinguished by those who wish to destroy our memory. Yearning to embrace those sacred principles for those that are willing to give all, so we can have a taste of freedom on our faith. They follow the ultimate teaching of God. In John 15:13, it says, greater love hath no man than this, that man laid down his life for his friends. Dear friends and gentle hearts, they're gone now. Those men of valor, those women of virtue and determination. But there was a time when many women who possessed sacred principles stood up against cruelty and knowledge, embraced their vision. Even on this day, they stand upon the shadow, looking down at the remnants of a grand army and a grand culture. So we are the remnants of a grand army and a grand culture. But those souls, they still linger to this day. Listen, you do not hear the voices of the women. You do not feel your spiritual essence place the shadow of hand upon your shoulder. Can you not feel the shivers run up and down your spine as your proud, perfect cup standing and offer a salute? Can you not see their footprints? Footprints of destiny on our native land. Look upon the clouds and the very crevices of the trees, for there they linger. There they are living. And there is life. These men are dead. I never listened. Okay. To defend the home. But they were American soldiers. As recognized by Congress and legislation, Public Law 38, 59, by Congress, Chapter 631 through 34, Statute 645. At 36 U.S. Code Section 2306. December 1898, President McKinley said these words: "Every soldier's grave made during that unfortunate war is a tribute to American valor. And the time has come when the spirit of fraternity we should share in the care of the grave of Confederate soldiers. The cordial feeling now happily exists between the North and South Constitution and their committed further justification and the validity of the Union of the flags is briefly shown in the years past by sons and grandsons of those who were killed. You know, some just have a small mark that says unknown. Some have stones. Some lay even around this ground, begging to be found. Begging to go home. A lot of times they're only on paper, and they have a sign I can look with. Hollywood. Again, I dare ask you why all are American soldiers fighting for what they believe. All deserve the individual possible dignity. All deserve to be represented in this speech. Hold out quickly and flower his feet. I'd like you to remember the words of Michael Davis Obama. He wrote this in a letter 2 months before he was killed in Vietnam, trying to rescue 8 of his men. If you are able, save for them a place inside of you, and save one backward glance when you are leaving the places that they can no longer. Be not ashamed to say you love them. Take what they have left and what they have taught you with your diet and keep it with rest. And in a time when you decide and feel safe because war is insane, take one moment and pray those simple people you left behind. Kill the national march of 1970. Also recall the words of Stephen D. Lamb when he spoke to the ladies in 1960, 1908. You, mothers of the Memorial Association of Forgiveness, service of commemorating the stolen country in the hearts of those who come after us by the stories of the lustrous death, of confronting the hearts of those who mourn our loss, comforting those lost. It took administration to search the sympathy of the weak, with all men everywhere who cries have been free. The love of God, the love of country, praise, fidelity, and courage. We honor self-sacrifice. We honor noble devotion, and we're given an instant remembrance inheritance. Today is remembrance of our prince and men, a Confederate soldier. In closing, dear Confederates, offer my thoughts as to why we are here, and offer the we are God. With Earth's rebirth in the spring and the Easter lilies bloom, you must reminisce upon your greatness. In the blue skies and storm clouds of summer, we choose with their warmth. You must remember, if you listen with a tender heart, the rest of these laws as your whispers your name.